Hi, my name is Cameron Amadi. I'm a data analyst for Walmart, and today I'm going to be giving you my presentation for my department sales forecast for the Union, New Jersey Walmart store. So, the purpose of my analysis is to forecast what sales will be for each of the next 4 weeks for the clothing, electronics, garden, and grocery departments at the Walmart store located in Union, New Jersey. With the data from my forecast, management will be able to make decisions on how much inventory to have on hand and how many staff to employ for each week. So the sample size for my forecast was 114 weeks of sales data for the clothing, electronics, garden, and grocery departments from February 2nd, 2022 to April 3rd, 2024 at the Union, New Jersey Walmart. So important forecast information. So I was able to forecast sales for each department for the month of April to help make inventory and staff decisions based upon past sales data. I was, however, unable to make a weekly sales forecast due to Tableau's forecast function forecasting each future week as the same sales value and not individually specific forecasts for each week. So what I mean by this is that based on my 114 weeks of sales data for each department, Tableau forecasted each future week as the same amount of sales for the department. So they were not individually specific sales numbers each week based on the preceding weeks and the pattern that followed. So I was only able to make a monthly sales forecast due to this. So our first department is the clothing department. So the sales that was forecasted for the clothing department was 118,921 for the month of April in 2024. This comes out to $29,730 per week over those 4 weeks. And this is third in terms of most department sales forecasted over this time period. So we can see from the graph below that $118,921 for the month of April. And based on our past sales data that we see before that, we can see that that month of April was forecasted consistently with how the month of April performed in previous years. So the next department we have is electronics. Electronic sales forecasted for the month of April was $137,377. This came out to $34,344 per week over those 4 weeks. This was second most in terms of department sales forecasted over this time period. So we can also see based on that past sales data here, and then our forecast for the month of April also performed consistently with preceding April months. Our next department is the garden department, and our sales forecast for the month of April in the garden department was $36,205. That came out to $9,051 per week over those 4 weeks. And this was last in terms of most department sales forecasted over this time period. We can see the month of April in our forecast did match up with previous April months. Then our last department is the grocery department. So grocery sales were forecast to be $196,407 for the month of April. That came out to $49,102 per week over those 4 weeks. And this was the most in terms of department sales forecasted over this time period. And we can see the preceding years in 22 and 23, they did differ a bit. So April was down in 22 and up in 23. So our month of April forecast was in the middle of those two for this department. So based on my forecast, I believe management should have the most inventory on hand and employees staffed for the grocery department, followed by the electronics, and then the clothing, and then the garden departments. Thank you for coming to my presentation.